gonna check around each screw. All right, we're getting ready to install a door, and first I have to prepare the opening, the rough opening. I already did my SIP system around it, so we wrapped the SIP system even on the inside. I think that'll give it even more water protection. And then I seal the corners with SIP tape. I am still going to run another piece of SIP tape on this corner so that it goes over the seal. I probably could have waited and then just done one piece, but I don't mind this because it's more protection. We are going to use this stretch tape. I never used this before. It can get pretty, from what I've seen on videos, it can get pretty challenging to put it on. You can see right here, it's already trying to glue to itself. So, but let's see how it goes. One of the things that I did before I get started is I did some markings just so that I know to do 6 inches up here, and then I'll do 4 here, and then the 2 will stretch over on this side. And I already have my piece cut. Let's see how this goes. All right. Oh man, this is scary. I want to make sure that I get going to repurpose dustpan. I'm gonna use this as a squeegee. Oh, that's a perfect corner. Nice. Okay. The white paper broke on me a little bit, not sure why. But no problem. And these corners come out really nice. Corners came out really nice with the squeegee. Now let's try this. The corners came out really nice with the handy dandy dustpan. All right, now we just roll it. All right, that looks great. I'm gonna teach you guys some Spanish. It says, para aplicar, use el rodillo. That means roll the tape. All right, I have this seal pen from Therma-Tru, and I already glued it. It fits perfectly. Now I'm going to use stretch tape, big stretch from Satchco. So the instruction says to do 3 long beads across here. I think I've seen where they do a long bead on the back and then they do lines this way in case if some water does come in, it does have a spot to come out. But I am going to follow the instructions and I'm just going to go across because I don't think any water is going to go in there. If I do the bead, a long bead here, then there's no reason for water to go in there. If it goes in from another spot, then I think that's another problem. Any water that falls on this, then it's just going to naturally fall off. So I'm just going to follow the instructions and do a nice size bead of caulk. Well, I shouldn't say caulk. This is not caulk. What is this, babe?
Big stretch.
That's right, big stretch. This is the good stuff. This is a little bit more expensive than your typical caulk, but I don't know. When it comes to stuff like this, I wouldn't go cheap. Because you do spend a lot of money on floors, on doors, on other things, materials. So I think it's better to go with the best stuff. All right, so this is looking good. I think I'm gonna run out. Oh. Babe, do you think I'll make it to the end?
I'm gonna say yeah.
No, I made it.
Yes.
I'm gonna put a little bit more here. All right, that's a good amount. Put this baby on. Let's go. Like this. Nice. I want to make sure the front is not higher than the back. Oh man, that looks good. All right, so the next thing is I'm going to get the zip tape and then just run it over this so that it covers this whole thing. Any water that by any chance gets under here or behind the door on the sides, then it'll just fall in here and then it'll just come down and it'll never go inside the building. At least that's what we're hoping. Okay. All right, this looks good. All right, so one of the things that we did before even getting to this point is I always make sure that when I was framing the door that I was as perfect as I could. I make sure that I was measuring, that everything was level, plumb, and it actually came out really good. If you can get closer with the camera bay, and then just look at the level here. Let's see. That is like really close. I don't know if I'm in an angle there. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. And then the other thing too is, so it's perfectly level, and then if I measure, I'm gonna use the laser. So I'm gonna measure, I'll measure here, and I get 38 inches. And then I'm gonna check up here, actually see, can you see that? So 38 inches. And then I'll check the top. Oh, sorry, this way. And let's see what I get. 238. So the bottom and the top exactly 38 inches. And that is exactly the roof opening that I need for this door. It's a 36-inch door, but the roof opening is 38. And the reason that I'm mentioning that is that if you spend some time before you install the door on the framing, making sure everything is level, everything measures correctly, it's gonna be much, much easier when you're installing the door. Now, hopefully, when we're installing the door, this makes sense, but I think it will, because one of the hardest thing when installing a door, a window, is that if your roof opening is not level and if it's not to the right measurements, then you're gonna have all kinds of problems, and it'll be a nightmare. So now I think we're ready to try putting the door in. We're going to do a sort of what is that called, a dry fit. We're gonna try to do a dry fit, and then we'll go from there. All right, we're doing a dry fit right now, and we got it in here. It looks perfect for the first try. It's closing. I mean, like, you can't ask for anything better. We still haven't caulked it because we just wanted to do a dry fit. So I'm gonna pull it out and then put the big stretch in here. But it looks like it's gonna be a great fit. So I think this is great. All right, we just finished getting the door in to do a dry fit, and I think it fits like a glove. It closes really nice, and I think it's gonna come out perfect. I still have to check level, but I think it's gonna be quite okay, because we did, as I mentioned earlier, we checked the framing, and the framing was pretty level, and I think that's gonna be fine. Now we're just going to pull it out a little bit so that we can put big stretch in here before we set it in. We'll put a few screws, and then I think overall we're almost there. I think it's gonna be really nice. All right, so we pull it out. We put caulk around it, or big stretch. It's actually oozing out a little bit, but I'm looking at the level right here, and it's spot on. There's nothing like for me to change. Yeah, that's like spot on. So I think we're ready to check this side. Yeah, it's spot on. All right, that's the first screw. I'm gonna keep checking for level. That is still money. Yeah, that right there is money. Again, I did spend a good amount of time framing and making sure that everything was nice and level, and my measurements were correct. There was hardly, I mean, I think I had like exactly a 1/4 inch of space on each side. That can be a little bit, not necessarily. I think if you can, I would give maybe 1/2 inch on each side, just to be safe. But again, if you make sure that everything is plumb and level, then you can get away with just using about a 1/4 inch on each side. All right, the last thing is to check for tightness on the bottom, and you can do it with a dollar bill. So I'm just gonna place it here. Close the door. I'm gonna check around each screw. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yep. It's good.